Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Halftime on the Hudson here in the fall semester of 2023. I'm your host, Jimmy Chantulis, alongside my main man, Nick Sharito. Nick, bring it in here. I'm happy that you could join me on this final time before we start second semester.
I'm very happy to be here. Not only is it the last one of the semester, but also the last one of 2023.
It's weird, and we have to say some goodbyes to our good friend Dan Allback. He's going off to Italy till the next semester. Wish we could have him here tonight, but he just had to be commentating a basketball game tonight. He just had to be. So
is it the women's game?
Yes, that just finished up. But we wish him all the best. We wish we could have him here, but we know that we'll have him starting in the next fall. But I digress. Let's move it back to camera 2 for me, please. I would love my main man Dorito in here. So our first topic of discussion, the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure the majority of people out there have seen it. Alabama was given the 4th seed over the 13-0 undefeated ACC champs, Florida State. I personally think that Florida State got absolutely hosed. I don't care that Jordan Travis went down, got hurt, he's out for the season. I don't care that their backup quarterback, Tate Rodemaker, was hurt with a concussion, and then they had to put in their third stringer. And they regardless, they still ended up beating Louisville in the ACC championship. Was it a pretty game? Absolutely not. But did they get the job done? Absolutely. This is the first time ever in the history of the college football playoff that an undefeated conference champion has never been put into the top 4. I think this is an absolute travesty. I don't even know. Like, what do you have to say about this?
It's pretty obvious why they did it to begin with. I mean, you got to have an SEC team in there. They're the most popular conference in all of college football. They had Georgia, who was the number 1 ranked team throughout the whole season, but then they lose to Alabama. And not going to say that Alabama is not a good team, because obviously they are. I mean, they're definitely one of the best teams in all of college football. But for a team that went 13-0 and they put so much value into how much different they are with their quarterback, and he's not even a Heisman finalist, there's two things not adding up there also. And I know Derek in the back is very for Alabama being in.
Yeah, he's very pro-Alabama. A lot of other people I know that are very pro-Alabama. Look, I get it. You can absolutely make the argument for having Alabama in there. I mean, I just mentioned how there's never been an undefeated conference champion not in the top 4. There's also never been a top 4 for the college football playoff without an SEC team in there. So, I mean, you can't have one without the other. I mean, honestly, though, in my personal opinion, Texas isn't technically in the SEC yet, but you could have absolutely used Texas as that SEC team in there because they'll be in there next year. But I digress. I mean, I've been seeing all over social media, you talk about how Jordan Travis, he's not even in the Heisman finalist. Yeah. All over social media, it's all talking about that if he's so important to this team and he's the reason why the team isn't even in the college football playoff, why not give him the Heisman? I mean, granted, I think that's a funny argument, but again, Jordan Travis had a phenomenal season before he got hurt, but I mean, not even having him in the Heisman finalists, the top 4, with Florida State not even being in there, at this point, what's going on here?
Who knows? I mean, that's up to the committee. But do you want to know what probably would have happened if Jordan Travis stayed healthy? They probably would have force-fed Georgia in there instead of Alabama, because their excuse would have been they've been the top team the whole year, and they lost a really close game to Alabama. That's also a chance.
Now I want to actually
that's how they get them out of there.
I want to touch on Georgia for a second. They go from being the number 1 overall seed the entire season, and then they end up dropping to number 6 after 1 loss. Is the committee drunk? It's just 12 old white guys picking who they think the 4 best teams in college football are. Look, I get it. You can make the argument that Bama is better than Florida State, regardless if Jordan Travis is in there or not. But if they want to go off of that, why isn't Georgia in there anyways? It's just, I don't understand it. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the biggest college football fan. I really got into it. I really got into it this season. But I mean, I just personally feel that Florida State just got the worst end of the deal in this entirety just in general. Like why even bother having a regular season at this point? Like they were in the top 4 the majority of the college football season, and then they end up getting hosed. They end up dropping one spot just because their quarterback ends up losing. They end up losing their quarterback. Excuse me. Even though they end up winning out for the entire season.
No, I'm very happy that the committee decided to change the format for next year. But this year definitely would have been the year to do it, because when you look at Ohio State, you look at Oregon, you look at Georgia, FSU, all great teams throughout the whole year. I mean, Oregon I think they lost 2 games. Both of them were to Washington, if I'm not mistaken. Both of those games were very close.
Yeah.
Like, this would have been a great year to have all those teams in the playoffs, and it's just a shame that it's 1 year away. And not this year.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been talking with Derek about this because he's our main college football guy.
Yep.
But like
college
even
sports fan,
yeah, exactly. But even like a 6-team playoff this year, I feel like would have really helped, because I mean we still would have had Florida State and Georgia in there regardless.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, look, I may have not have been for the 12-team playoff coming into this season, but I'm absolutely for it now because of how the committee has been handling this entire situation.
I mean, even when you look at it across, like, at a professional sports level, you play to earn your spot into the playoffs, and with college sports in general, that's not exactly how it works. And in my opinion, that's a little bit unfair, where you have people deciding, all right, these are the 4 best teams, when in reality it's just like the NFL. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, any team can win. And when you look at it from a college basketball perspective too, they pick the 64 teams. Now I'm pretty sure the conference champions from each one gets a slot in automatically, so they're really picking 32 teams. But that doesn't do it justice for why those teams play.
Yeah, I mean, like, I actually saw something on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. But yeah. But I saw something today actually where it was every single like football league, whether that be like Pee-wees, whether that be like your middle school, your high school, like lower level colleges like D3, D2. It's just the best teams are in the final. But when it comes to D1 football, it's just completely thrown out. Like I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
I mean, if they really wanted to, they could have Marist football team in the Final Four if they really wanted to.
No, that'd be phenomenal.
It would be really stupid, but hypothetically speaking, they could if they wanted to.
In a hypothetical situation, sure.
They get blown out 100 to nothing.
But I digress. Let's move things on here to, I feel like, our main talking point of tonight, the in-season tournament. I mean, this thing has been electric, to say the least. I mean, before like, even when it was announced like last fall, I actually wrote a paper in one of my classes about how I thought the in-season tournament was a stupid idea, how it was just all for money, it was just all for it was just like, it literally was like such a dumb idea, and I thought it wasn't going to pan out. Boy, was I wrong. I will proudly admit that I was wrong in this situation. The in-season tournament has been one of the best things I think I've seen in the NBA in a long time. I mean, it's so high level. It's so much fun, like, atmosphere. It feels like a playoff game every single time. I mean, sure, both of our teams just lost in the past 2 days, but I mean, those games felt like playoff games.
Oh yeah.
Like watching the Pacers beat the Celtics, like that was their NBA Finals. They were getting up, they were getting into it. The entire arena was just loving it. Like, it felt like a genuine playoff game.
Not only did it feel like a playoff game, it felt like watching March Madness, where it's one and done.
Yeah.
And you know what? The odds of like a 16 seed being a 1 seed, very low, but it could still happen. And even though the Celtics have been playing the best basketball in the NBA, as much as I hate to admit it, and the Pacers played no defense, they turned it up for one game, and now they're one game away from winning going to the first finals for the NBA Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I really love this whole single elimination thing. I feel like that the NBA, and honestly, I mean, like the MLB and the NHL as well, like they have those 7-game series, albeit the MLB does a little bit differently. It's 3 then 5 then whatever. Yeah. But like having like a 7-game series, sure, it's fun because you're going to see a lot of high-level basketball. All those games matter regardless.
Yeah.
But having that single elimination game, it just puts that much more emphasis on you need to show out immediately. You cannot take any time off. You need to come out with as full strength as possible. You need to try and beat the ever-living crap out of the guys in front of you. I mean, like, I think that this has been what the NBA has been needing for a long time because the regular season has been so monotonous.
Especially when a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, I'm not going to watch the NBA season because it's too long, 82 games, just wait until the playoffs because they don't try in the regular season. which is why I've actually put value into these in-season tournament games. And to say it's not about the money, it's part of that part. I mean, it's part of it's about the money on both sides.
Yeah, I mean,
because of the players are playing for $500,000. I saw Damian Lillard said that even their G League players get part of that $500,000.
Yep.
And even though obviously they're making six figures, more money than some of us are going to see, some of us might see at one point in our life, but definitely not going to see when we're like 25 years old. $500,000 is life-changing money for a lot of people. Yeah. So and they're playing for that, and it's giving them a reason to play, and they're playing at the highest level. And you know what? I don't think it's a coincidence that that there were 3 4-0 teams, and right now they're all in the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, like
I don't think it's a coincidence.
It's not every day you see a team like Indiana or you see a team like New Orleans like really show out in some of these instances. I mean, sure they could be fringe playoff teams, but in this kind of single elimination system, like it really shows how some of these teams can really like get down to it, and they could steal a game from some of these other top teams. I mean, like the Kings, they were one of the favorites to win the entire thing, and they ended up getting taken down.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, right now, the 8 teams that made it to the knockout round, the Pelicans were the only one that was in the play, and everyone else is currently a playoff team. So
interesting.
To say that, I mean, even though all 30 teams get a chance to compete in this, there is some foreshadowing on what's going to happen in the playoffs, which I really love because teams are getting to see opportunity on who they can trust on in big games, which I think is very important for the championship teams in this, like the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Lakers, and I'll throw in the Suns in there too. And seeing how, the Lakers have taken full advantage of the Suns 3 times this year already and taken full advantage of the fact that they don't have like a primary playmaker, as well as Devin Booker has been playing the point guard position. 7 turnovers last night. Kevin Durant also had 5 turnovers last night.
Yeah, it's gritty basketball, and it's something that I absolutely enjoy.
Outside of that Knicks-Bucks game where it was 146 to 122.
Hey, I mean, granted, it was close in the first half.
75-72.
I genuinely thought that was going to be a close game the entire way through, but then the Bucks just turned it on to another level.
Oh, their offense has been so explosive this year.
I know.
Like no defensive team has been able to stop them.
Except the Celtics.
It was a 3-point game.
I mean,
hey, you gotta give credit to the Bucks actually playing defense against the Celtics.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, no, but I mean, I know we're really touching on like kind of like the closing aspects of the in-season tournament, but I kind of want to jump into like some of the group play. Even the rules in group play, like I feel like that they've been like really entertaining. I mean, it's like you play your group four games in your group.
You play 4 games each game once. So once again, it's kind of like college football, how you only play everybody in your conference at least once.
And it's even like the World Cup, like
exactly.
Yeah,
just like the World Cup. And the Sacramento Kings went 4-0. So there was 4 teams that went 4-0. I'm sorry, I made that mistake. But I was watching the Kings-Warriors final in-season tournament game, and I'm thinking to myself, so the Warriors can be up by 14, and then the Kings hit a 3-point shot at the buzzer, and it counts as a game winner because the Warriors had to win by 12 to move on, and the Kings they didn't have to win. They had to lose by less than 11 or win the game. So really their line was minus or plus 11, 11 and a half.
Yeah, the Celtics were in the same situation their last game against the Bulls. Coming into it, they had, I believe, one of the highest point differentials before losing to the Magic, and then they were at a flat 0. They go in, they have to play Chicago, and they just turn it onto another level. They have to win by 23. And you know what they end up doing? They end up blowing Chicago out of the water. They end up winning by 27. It's a 3-point just nightmare for Chicago. I think the Celtics started out shooting 75% from 3-point range in the first quarter alone. And then they're playing hack-a-drumming with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And Billy Donovan is having a mid-court debate with Joe Mazzulla about, like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on here? And Joe has to explain the rules of the in-season tournament because not even some of the coaches and players have any idea what's going on. I mean, like,
that's what happens when your team goes 0-4.
Fair. The Chicago Bulls are absolute garbage. They're trash. But, I mean, it's like before, like, the tournament even started, like, I was honestly pretty confused about the rules to begin with, but I feel like after watching one game and having people explain it to me, it was honestly pretty simple to kind of understand. But it's those teams that don't have a winning mentality. It's those teams that don't have a good coach, good players. they tend to just, coast along. They don't really know what's going on, and then they decide to blame everyone else for their failures.
And do you know something that doesn't really make sense to me? Is that think about the Packers-Lions game at the end of the NFL season. Now, the Lions, they weren't really playing for anything, but they didn't want to have the pride and joy of the Packers beating them to go to the playoffs. So I don't get why some of these bad teams, when it's like the Bulls, right? You can have the pride and joy of the Celtics, the preseason favorite to win the entire thing, and then they don't even make the tournament. And you could have just played a little bit harder and gotten the joy out of seeing the quote-unquote best team in the NBA not even make a silly little in-season tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, in fairness, I feel like that when it comes down to it, it's like the Celtics. Like if they ended up missing out on the in-season tournament, I just know for a fact that it would have been nonstop. Like, oh, the Celtics can't get it done. The Celtics can't do this. They can't do that. But like, can we talk about how the Nuggets didn't even make it and no one gave them any flack for it?
That's what happens. They're in Denver. I mean, they're still the 3 seed, and also they weren't 100% healthy throughout that whole time. Jamal Murray basically missed the whole month of November, which definitely played a big part in it. And the Nuggets, like, as good as Nikola Jokic is, he needs his co-star. Like, pretty much every other team in NBA history has needed to win a championship. And that's why they won the championship last year and the previous 2 years. He didn't get that far in the playoffs without Jamal Murray. He gets Jamal Murray back for his first full season, and then he wins the whole thing. I mean, when that team is healthy, they're clicking on all cylinders, and they just have chemistry, which I think that's an aspect that's kind of being overlooked in, like, the super team era where you're saying, oh, we'll just throw all these teams into the fire and they'll figure out just like that, which the Celtics still need to figure out going down the stretch of little games. They get a little bit tight at the end of those close games. But they still have – we're only a fifth of the way through the season. They still have plenty of time. I mean, it's the NBA season doesn't start until Christmas, and it's not until the trade deadline, All-Star game, and then going forward.
Yeah, I mean, like, in the in-season tournament has just been like a wild success for the NBA as a whole. I think that it's going to stick around for a while, much like the play-in tournament. But that's all the time we have for you here at this segment. We're going to go kick it over to Prove Your Point, where we have a very heated debate coming up. Stay tuned. Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Welcome back to another edition of Prove Your Point on this final episode of the semester. I'm super excited. I know you guys in the audience are super excited. Let's get right into introductions. Gene, on my left, the Red Fox Network intern, Tom Tricoli. Tom.
What's up? How's it going?
Pleasure. All right. And on my right, resident hater, known hater, blackout please, Bella Derry.
Jimmy? Great to see you, man.
Pleasure. All right. Guys, I'm super excited to have you guys here. I know everyone in the audience is super excited. Let's get right into it with a little, we're gonna work our way up. First debate topic. Which city in the country deserves an NHL team the most? Bella, I'm going to start with you first.
So I really like how you said in the country because I think that Salt Lake City should be our next expansion team. It's a growing city, a lot of urban sprawl there, not the best for the environment, but a lot of hip young couples moving there. And you know what hip young couples love? They love hockey. One thing that they do is they love hockey. They have kids who play hockey, and they need a hockey team too.
Is everything all right over here? Yeah, keep going, please.
I wish there was a camera on that.
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened in the background.
Hockey. And so Salt Lake City, they have a lake. What do you think, Tom?
Get him out of the studio.
Tom, what do you think?
Well, all right, to hone it back in a little bit, if I know a demographic that loves hockey even more than young hip couples, it's the Canadians.
Boo!
Canadians love their hockey, especially a city that has had a team before and had it ripped away from them. I'm going Quebec City.
You notice how Jimmy said in the country?
You're right. Everyone makes mistakes. I mean, I feel like Tom was using his power of words to trump me. So. That might be I might be giving you a doc as the the mediator here, but maybe the audience will have to agree with
Hockey
you.
is an international sport.
This is true.
Quebec used to have a team, and then they when they got taken away from them, they didn't really care that much because Canadians don't know how to be sports fans. Because Canadians suck.
That was not the issue. The issue with the Nordiques was the ownership. People didn't like that the city was based in French. Like all the media only spoke French.
What the hell's Quebec doing? Sorry.
But there's other cities now that are based in French cities. Montreal has supported a team for a long time.
And?
Winnipeg as well.
Okay.
A newer franchise has welcomed the team that they have. The language barrier is not the issue, especially for a sport that's looking to grow internationally. Quebec City loves their Nordiques. There's still people wearing their merch, even though the team hasn't played there in 25 years. There's an arena there that could support it. Sure, it's a smaller market team, but Salt Lake City isn't much bigger, and there are smaller teams in the franchise, such as Winnipeg, that have proved successful.
Yeah, that is true, but also, we have to think about where Quebec City is, and it's in Canada. And I know, East Coast, West Coast, but, who wants to go up north to a country that is just, they want to be us so bad. They're part of the UK, first and foremost. That's embarrassing. I wouldn't be caught dead being part of the UK, personally, as an Irish person. We're free.
They go up there for
international beef here?
Yeah, they go up there for 7 other teams. You got Edmonton and Vancouver.
Yeah, we're getting rid of those too.
Western Canadian.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Oh, they're gone too.
Are we just boycotting every Canadian team?
Yeah, even the Blue Jays.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
What about the Raptors?
Them too.
What do the Raptors ever do to her?
Strong words, but I think it just proves my point. That the Canadians are very deserving.
Are they?
Of another
they have
team.
So many teams already, as you said. Why do they need another one?
Does America not have enough teams? Is having 2/3 of the league worth of teams not enough for the Americans?
But
the greedy little capitalists they are, they want
all
more.
All of them are in the Northeast by us. But out west, there's none, and in the south, there's none because it's warm.
I mean, out west, you got Arizona? They got to relocate because they can't support themselves. They're playing in an arena with.
I'm not talking about Arizona.
They're playing in an arena with 4,500 people. Out west, it's not working. San Jose, lowest in attendance as well.
Well, are they in Utah? No. You know what Utah has? Mormons. The Mormons love hockey.
Mormons.
But before you move on, I just want to say that I want to put that on a short. Mormons love hockey. All right, but guys, this was a little bit of a low level debate here. We're really working things out. Our in-house studio audience is putting down their votes right now. But moving on to the next point, which I think is one of my favorite topics.
You're welcome.
The sexiest men in the MLB. Tom, we started with Bell first. Let's start with you.
Oh boy. Maybe I should be the one leading with this, but I'm gonna argue for my boy Anthony Volpe. He's a good Italian kid.
He's Italian.
Come on, played in New York. Good Italian kid.
From Jersey.
He is a Jersey boy. I'm a Jersey boy. Who doesn't love a good little Jersey boy? He's a Golden Glove winner.
That was not deserved.
I mean, that's probably not, but
Yep.
that's a debate for another time.
True.
Regardless, he's got that Golden Glove already on the resume after only one season in the major leagues. He's going to be a key part of the Yankees going forward. One of the biggest teams in the entire league. He's got a good face. He's got a good face. Clean cut.
Put a picture of him and
put a photo of him up. He's a clean cut guy. The Yankees. No facial hair.
No
you can't
aura.
have this little ugly stash.
You know who Volpe reminds me of? The guy on TikTok that goes, chicken cutlet, paper thin.
He doesn't really look like him.
It's the Italian. Bella, what do you got?
So, as a sensible person that I am, that's Anthony Volpe again. So, the Yankees have no aura to them. And you know who does have an aura? He's incredible. My shortstop, Francisco Lindor. This most recent season, 30-30 season, that, stat, but a 30-30 season on a stat line, that is sexy. Also, his nickname, Mr. Smile, because his smile, beautiful. He can pull off any hairstyle. He just shaved his head. Looked incredible, may I say. And he has braids, he'll dye different colors, looks beautiful. Again, Volpe, he's a shortstop as well. Shortstop, we all agree, the sexiest position there is on the baseball diamond. But
look at that face.
Look at him.
Wait, when did she get a photo? I didn't get a photo.
Volpe was on the screen. You didn't see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you could get one in the Mets uniform, that'd be lovely. Because he's the Mets franchise shortstop.
There he is.
Oh wow, that was quick. That was quick.
Thank you. I appreciate
Gene
that.
had it on lock. Thanks to our producer Gene in the studio.
And he's just like, he's the first. We don't talk about gold gloves. Lindor has multiple. He's a platinum glove. He's a multiple-time All-Star.
Volpe's had one season. How many Golden Gloves is he supposed to win in one season? You can't win
don't
more
know.
than one.
He sucks. He sucks. You could have picked someone better on the Yankees, like Aaron Judge.
Look, like,
I don't know.
you're talking about nicknames and all that. I guarantee, give Volpe a few years, they're going to be calling him, like, I don't know, sexiest man in New York or something like that.
Whoa.
It's coming.
Like, look at that face.
Well, that's not a good photo. Come on. Look at the photos they used for Lindor compared to what they used for Volpe. That's just not fair.
It's just because Francisco just has a plethora of great photos because he is just the sexiest player.
Show him with the blue hair. The blue hair does not work
on
him.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Don't even lie to yourself.
Pull that out there. The dyed hair does
blue
not
hair,
work.
please.
Blue hair, Francisco Lindor, please.
Blue hair on the screen.
Oh, wait, poorly timed.
Well, Volpe being the classy little New York gentleman he is, he would never dye his hair blue.
No aura to him. Francisco Lindor, he's Puerto Rican. He has that style to him.
The real New Yorkers are the Yankees.
Don't lie to yourself. Don't even lie to yourself. If you see Francisco Lindor's,
there he is.
Looks beautiful.
There he is.
What is that? Is that Tyler Ninja Blevins? Like, come on, the blue hair doesn't work.
If we look at Lindor whenever he walks into the stadium, his style, it's incredible. Literally every outfit on point. He is partnered with.
He's probably paying someone to style for him.
What?
You think he's doing that? He's probably got a stylist.
Okay. Anthony Volpe doesn't, and he looks bad all the time.
Because Anthony Volpe is 1 year into the league, and he's like, what, like 22?
Okay, and as a 22-year-old, you should have style.
Have you seen the people on campus? There's a lot of 22-year-olds around here who don't
I'm
know how to
18 and I have
dress.
style. What is his excuse? He's had years to perfect this.
All right. Well, I feel like we've hit a stone. I feel like we've hit a fork in the road here. But I think you guys bring both very good points here.
Hold on, can I say something?
Yeah.
Gene, I'm gonna send you a video, and you're gonna put it in the video, and then everyone's gonna agree with me.
Is it the TikTok you showed me before this?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Stay tuned for that.
That's not really fair.
Anywho, Bella with Francisco Lindor, Tom with Anthony Volpe. I feel like there always ends up like there's always just it's Yankees and Mets. I feel like there's always like butting of heads regardless of the topic. But our live studio audience is casting their votes for this.
I want no Yankee bias in this.
Ooh, no Yankee bias.
There's too many Yankee.
Derek and Gene in there.
Even though our entire studio is full of Yankee fans.
Zero Yankee bias, please.
Besides the point. Moving on to our third and final topic, which I know I said last topic might have been my favorite, but I think this one might be my favorite as well. You guys are putting me and Gene head to head. Who is your favorite halftime on the Hudson producer? Bella, what do you got?
Okay, so Jimmy, you're my favorite halftime on the Hudson producer.
Are you saying that because he's standing right next to you?
No, I'm not actually. So my first time on this show, it was my first show. I'm a freshman, I was very nervous. I watched the show. Jimmy edited it. I think the funniest video I've ever seen. I ate this guy up, and his editing made it even like 10 times funnier. And also, you know what Jimmy didn't do 10 minutes ago? Trip over a cable.
This is true. This is very true.
Mr. Rockland.
Yeah,
Mr. Rockland 2021.
Hey, I own up to that. That's me. That's who I am. Gene, you may think that you're getting under my skin, but deep down, I am Mr. Rockland.
Also, let's take a look at Jimmy's outfit. Incredible. The plaid with the tie. People might not like patterns together, but it looks very good, I would like to say.
Like I don't miss with my outfits.
He really doesn't.
I just want to say, did he win, Mr. Rockland?
I don't know. I didn't know Jimmy at that point in my life.
Sorry
I was in high school.
I'm arguing for my boy.
Also, Gene is a Yankee fan. I don't know. Jimmy probably is too, but like.
No, Red Sox.
Word. Gene's a Yankee fan, and I saw him at a Yankee game when the Mariners went to a Yankee game. Gene left his sunglasses in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he did.
And then
that is such a Gene move.
And then he was like, "Can I go get it?" I was like, "They're not gonna let you back in." And then he lost his sunglasses. Jimmy would never do that.
You're right. I would never.
Were you sitting behind us on the bus?
I
was sitting with Gene. If you overheard that.
No, he came. I was walking in. He ran out of the bus, and I was standing there talking to student activities because I worked there.
All right. Regardless, getting back on topic. So I'm arguing for my boy Gene. We've been praising Gene this whole episode for the work he's done in the studio. Look at
that ugly mug. Look at that ugly mug.
Hey, look how quick
Get on in here, Gene. Get on in here.
Gene, let me speak for you first.
I'd love to hear all about this.
Look, we were just talking about all the work Gene does in the studio, pulling up different images. Did you see how quick he was to make that Ninja and Lindor comparison? That was like lightning fast. You know what I mean?
I could do that quicker.
He's very on top of his game. In addition to that, who is more dedicated to MCTV than the supercommuter himself? Gene drives an hour and 15 minutes every single day.
He doesn't have to.
He does not have to.
Who's forcing
Why
him?
don't I have to? What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I'm sorry that I'm not made of money like Mr. Rockland over here.
Whoa,
in his nice suit.
whoa!
Some of us are blue collar. You are blue tie. That's Derek.
Derek's out of
Get him
it.
off the
Get outta
screen!
here.
Get him out of here!
Bring up my yearbook
Can we
picture.
look at
Bring up my yearbook picture.
Gene's shoes?
Yeah, Gene.
Don't, hey, I was not
The
finished.
shoe game isn't
I
on
was not
point.
finished with my point.
Oh, sorry.
Gene is the most dedicated man to halftime on the Hudson that I know. Not only is he
doesn't even know
driving
ball.
up, an hour and 15 each day to be here, he's also, like sneakily athletic. He's like the first guy in the studio, last one out. Type of guy you want in the locker room, you know what I mean?
Would you say that he's the type of guy that you let date your daughter?
I would. If I had a daughter, I would let Gene date her in a heartbeat. He's a very romantic man.
But Tom,
It's true.
that's a little bit of a Josh Giddey situation.
Well, my hypothetical daughter is not here yet, and also I would not let Gene date my, toddler daughter. Sorry, Gene.
Don't apologize.
You're gonna have to wait a couple of years.
He apologized. Whose side are you on?
It's because Gene.
You're gonna have to wait a couple of years.
I also last time I was at a halftime shoot, Gene didn't remember Brad Hand, and that's really embarrassing. Who doesn't know Brad Hand?
Have you ever seen Gene do the baseball grid?
I have, and I could do better. Sorry about it.
Are you pulling Wally Pipp out every
Yes.
single time? Because
What can I say?
He's getting that like 0.3%.
Name every team Wally Pipp's been on right now, Bella. Go.
Is this? I'm not Jimmy. Make Jimmy do this.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy. name
ahead.
every team Wally Pipp is.
Jimmy, name every person ever.
Yeah, Jimmy. You're claiming to be Mr. Rockland. Name everyone from Rockland.
All right, we have Joe Schmo, Alex Anzalone.
Wrong.
Yeah, I've been there. I've never met him.
I've never met any of those guys. Now tell me every team Wally Pipp's been on.
Yankees,
That's one. That's
Yeah,
three.
he was.
Tigers,
Wrong. Oh, actually, that is right.
No, yeah.
Sorry, I just. Go on. Last
Oh
one.
my God.
Reds.
He's literally got Spark Notes open
Wait, was I
on
right?
his phone right now.
This is why Jimmy's the GOAT.
Is somebody holding like?
Wait,
This is why Jimmy's the
Dude,
GOAT.
am I
This is why
right?
Jimmy's the GOAT.
No way. That was
like he was like a teleprompter open. We
Yeah, you're right.
He
You're right. I
had
did
that.
know
He
that
had that.
actually. You're right. I did.
He had that.
I'm him.
He's him.
Gene, get out of here.
They call him Himothy.
Gene, I'm sorry.
Hey! If you're here, it's only fair that Gene stays.
Gene, get out of here now.
Get outta here.
You're not on-screen talent today. Jimmy, they call him Himothy. They call him Himmy. They call him Himmy, whatever your last name is.
That's besides the point.
Yeah. Pronounce
I'm
Jimmy's
not-
last
I'm
name.
not
If
Greek.
you're so pro Jimmy, say his last name.
I'm not Greek.
Hey,
It's Antulis.
that's cheating. Close the door. There's an echo.
All right. You guys drove some very, very.
I want
convincing
no
points
Gene
here.
bias on this.
Bella, I thank you for vouching for me here. Tom, you're actually wrong.
Jimmy, I still love you.
Now we have our in-studio audience here with our vote. I shall take it from my
Guys, if I
main
lose, I'm
man,
gonna cry.
Derek DeGallo.
Hey, it was a good debate, regardless of
I
result.
think there's a lot of bias on this.
Alrighty. Look at that. Look at that man right there. Alrighty. The votes have been decided
Is it unanimous?
with a score of 2-1.
Oh God, I'm so
The winner
lost.
is Bella.
Hey,
Strobe lights.
No strobe lights.
No strobes.
Undefeated on the
She voted for
season.
you.
Who voted for me?
I think there's some voter fraud
Voter
over in the
fraud?
studio because there is no way that I lost to Mr. Rockland in that debate.
No. Wait,
Bring
no.
in the votes. Where are the votes? Do you have the votes? Come on, we've got new guest Nick Sharito.
Co-host Nick Sharito, yeah. Just remember, we're debating their debates, not who we think is sexier. Because I would vote for neither of you. I would vote for me.
wait, hold on. We're missing votes.
We're missing votes here.
There's only 3 for that one. The other one had 5.
Who cares? You won that one anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but there should be 2 more people voting.
Wait, can I see this?
Whoa,
I can sway the vote.
Yeah,
How did I lose
fine.
the Francisco Lindor debate?
no,
Okay.
you won that one.
No, you
I
won.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's get to
can't
camera
read
2. I
apparently.
think I'm going to make the executive decision here to hand it off to Jimmy for our outro.
I have a mic.
I just want to say I'm undefeated this season.
Alrighty. And with that, Bella, you have won today. Thank you very much for joining me. Tom, thank you as well for joining me on this
Thank you,
very,
Jimmy.
very fun-filled, very laugh-filled segment of Prove Your Point here.
I'll win one of these one day.
One day, Tom. Hey, Tom,
never
I'm still 0-2 in my Prove
I'm
Your
never
Point
losing
career.
this.
So,
Damn.
yeah. But let's go kick it back over to the desk where me and Nick take on the hoop grid for one final time. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our little game segment. You know, we just had a fiery debate and Prove Your Point, but now we're here to wrap
Well, it
things
really
up.
is the certified hater.
Yeah, sure, dude. Absolute just demon hater. Anyways, you know, we're here in this little last game segment for the last episode of the semester. So let's get right into it. So I feel like that these are really gettable.
Yeah, very.
Sixers, Clippers. I mean, like I feel like we should just start right there. I mean, there's a lot of choices that we could do.
J.J.
Like,
Redick,
yeah,
PJ Tucker, Robert Covington. I mean, there was just the James Harden trade.
yeah.
So.
I feel like maybe not too many people are gonna pick J.J. Redick though, because I feel like I don't feel like people remember. I mean, granted, he was on the Sixers like later in his career than he was in the Clippers, but I feel like the people would more so go to like PJ Tucker and James Harden and such.
Those recent guys, yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is Hoop Grid, so we have multiple chances.
Multiple tries.
But I mean, I don't mind going JJ just to start things off. Yeah, 3%.
3.4. So I'm definitely going to be going for some type of rarity here. Now, when I think about the Magic, they haven't had they're not one of the franchises that have been around since the 40s and the 50s. They've been around since the mid-'80s, if I'm not mistaken, late 80s. So, but I'm thinking about a player who joined them late in their career. He's on the TNT crew.
Ah.
Kenny the Jet Smith.
Have at it.
And 6 3-pointers.
Have at it.
I'm pretty sure he won a three-point shooting competition, if I'm not mistaken.
Boom. Bam. Wow, a diamond, 0.24%. What a pull. All right. Oh.
Oh, strobe lights.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Now, I'm looking at some of these here. I mean, we could realistically like stick around to like maybe bang out some of these other 3-point shooting teams. I mean, we have Clippers and we have Kings. I'm really trying to think of like who was Peja Stojakovic, was he on the Kings?
He was on the Kings in 2002.
Yeah, you know, I thought it would be better. 5.9, basically 6.
They've had some 3-point shooters throughout their career. I mean,
was Mike Bibby a good shooter?
he was a good shooter.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure there's definitely one year that he had a couple of 3-pointers made.
yeah, all right, that's better. 3.7. We'll keep it at that. If we have any other ideas, we can go back to it.
So I'm going with another 3-point shooter and Clippers. Very, very tough name. I might be Vladimir Radmanovic.
Ooh. Oh, Dorito.
Yeah.
Wow, 0.3%, another diamond. He's coming out swinging right now. Ooh, I gotta follow this up, but I don't even know if I can. All right, let's see here. I mean, 40-point game in the regular season. I mean, Clippers, Magic, Kings. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of different like people we could go to. There's a plethora of guys. I mean, but who to choose? That is the big question here. I mean, because I mean, they're granted. I mean, like I could go like recent. I can go PG. I can go Harden. I can go like Kawhi. I can go all those guys. But I really want to.
Too easy.
Exactly. It's way too easy.
I mean, you got Chris Paul, Blake Griffin.
Yeah, like even then, I was thinking of Blake, but I feel like that's still too recent.
I mean, Elton Brand probably had a 40-point game when he was with the Clippers in the early 2000s. I mean, before they were the Clippers, they were the Braves.
True.
Bob McAdoo, he had 3 scoring titles. So
You know,
he's also a very good one.
You know,
Kinda
4.5.
high.
Yeah, it is kind of high.
But he's also arguably their best player ever, the only player on the Clippers or Braves to
True.
win an MVP. Comes with the Magic and the 76ers. Dwight Howard. J.J. Redick's also another
JJ,
one.
yeah. No, but
I'm pretty sure J.J. Redick fits about 4 of these.
yeah, he does.
But I'm thinking of an all-star center who's not named Dwight Howard. He's now on the Bulls.
Okay.
I'm thinking Nikola Vucevic. He started his career out in Philadelphia.
You know, I feel like people tend to forget that sometimes.
I definitely do forget it sometimes until I look at his stats and it says Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. I mean, now we only have Magic and Kings 40-point games, and then we also have Kings and 76ers. So I'm really trying to think of a pretty late guy with Kings and Sixers. I mean, I was having a thought, but then I kind of lost it.
I do have one for that, and it's your point guard's brother.
Ah.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Would that be Justin Holiday?
Yes, Justin Holiday. He actually played his rookie year, Drew's All-Star year in Philly, and then he was on the Kings, I believe, a couple years ago, or I think maybe last year.
He's on Denver right now, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes, he is. Okay.
Hence the Nuggets jersey he's wearing right
now. Yeah, that would make sense.
now.
Now we just have 40-point games left, and again, a plethora of guys.
For the Kings, I think I'm definitely going back to just right when Oscar Robertson was playing. Not picking Oscar Robertson.
That's too easy.
That's way too easy. One of his teammates, Tom Van Arsdale.
You're pulling random guys. He doesn't exist. He doesn't even have a picture. He just clearly doesn't exist.
And if you want, I do have one for the Clippers that I can go
Have
a
at
little
it.
bit lower.
Have at it, please.
Bob Kaufman.
He had to have been a plumber in his pastime. 0.34%. We have 4 diamonds strictly from him. These guys are plumbers. These guys worked 9 to 5s while also playing basketball.
They were dentists.
The
dentists
no wonder guys like
Dude,
Will and Bill dominated because they were playing 9 to 5ers.
Yeah, fun fact, Bill Russell won the MVP and wasn't first team All-NBA. 1962.
How? Whatever.
Well, Will averaged 50 and 20 that year, 25.
You know.
But Magic 40-point game. A lot of options.
Yeah.
Shaq, Hardaway.
Yeah. Now,
maybe
Patrick Ewing did play for the Magic.
I think that was his last season.
Yeah.
I think he went Knicks, then I think it was Supersonics, then Magic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it just like a regular?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Like
it's
with any team?
Any team, they would have to have scored.
Well, I know for a fact Patrick Ewing definitely had 40 in the game.
I mean, let's go.
Unless it's with the team.
Yeah,
then
we'll find that out, but.
Oh, there's 2 of them. That one.
Bang, 2.5%. All right. Well, with that,
a lot easier than last time.
Yeah, I know. Our last one, we were really racking our brains, but that Lonzo poll was crazy.
Exactly.
But with that, this is our last episode of the semester. Once again, I've been Jimmy, my man Dorito here.
Merry Christmas. Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays
Happy
to everybody,
Kwanzaa.
and we will see you guys back in the spring. Take care.
Not really the spring.